Hey guys, back with another video. This is going to be a games I've been playing recently video. Probably a shorter one than usual. It's been a while since I did my last one, and I do these videos whenever I've been playing a bunch of games and don't feel like doing a video for each of them. In this video, I'm only going to be talking about 3 games that I've been playing recently, and I've kind of finished one of them. You can't really finish, and 2 I did finish. And I'm playing some stuff right now that I'm going to wait to talk about until I do some more videos. And then I'll probably end off this video because it's probably going to be on the shorter side with talking about some of the upcoming releases I'm looking forward to. But let's get things started with this game right here, Danganronpa 2. A game I've been really looking forward to ever since playing the first one not too long ago. This is a very story-driven game, so I can't go into too many details. And I did actually record a long discussion video with Danny, DevilMayPie. He uploaded that video to his channel. It was like an over an hour-long discussion that me and him had about Danganronpa 1 and this that goes heavy into spoiler territory, and we just go completely over these 2 games and their storylines chapter by chapter with this game. We talk more about this game right here. But the series in general. So go check that out if you finish this game and want to hear like my thoughts on the storyline. Right now I'm just going to talk about some of the gameplay stuff. Like the gameplay is generally the same. There's like the main gameplay is kind of different. Like other than the trials, like you're on an island this time, and there's a bit more exploration. You can level up. So I liked those changes. But the trial sections themselves, like shooting down contradictions with the truth bullets is still really fun, and solving these murders and figuring out who the culprits are is fun as always. But there's a lot, like the mini games they added in this one I'm not too big on. The logic dive I thought was kind of boring, and all the answers were really obvious to me all the time. The Hangman's Gambit, they call it improved, and I think it's far worse. Like, it just takes forever for your letters to come. That was really annoying. The rebuttal sections are an interesting idea, where you're cutting down the words, but I thought it was really finicky and annoying. Whenever you failed, you had to go back a step, and it was just... like, a lot of the minigames in the trials, I think, are very tedious, and the trials, in general, are way too long, I think. They're just really drawn out. They're still fun, but I think I preferred... them a bit more in the first one. I probably like this about as much as the first one though, because the ending is crazy. Towards the end, this game gets fucking insane. But overall, I really enjoyed my time with this game. I have some complaints with the gameplay, a lot of the gameplay aspects with this one, but overall, it's definitely worth playing along with the first one. Definitely this combined with the first one are among my favorite games of the year. So yeah, that's Danganronpa 2. The next game I've been playing is a game called Warframe. This is on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Xbox One, it came out pretty recently. Now this is a free-to-play game. Now I've always said that I've stayed away from these types of games because I generally find them just to be complete money grabs and never all that fun. But a couple of my friends tried to get me into this one, and I was hesitant at first. I was fully expecting to hate this one, and the reviews aren't too great, but I've actually put in a lot of hours into this game recently, and it's surprisingly good. Honestly, probably the best free-to-play game I've played. It's kind of impressive. There's still a lot of elements I don't like. You have to get like this platinum, then the only way to really get it is to actually purchase it with real money, but you don't actually need it to succeed in this game. This game reminds me of Destiny, actually. It's doing a lot of the things Destiny is doing, but this game came out first. The story is complete nonsense. I don't even think I really need to talk about the story. It's not, you don't really play it for the story. It's like a third-person shooter. It's a third-person shooter, but it's got melee combat as well. It's got like parkour type stuff where you can like climb up walls and things like that. I mean, the controls are kind of finicky, and they take some time to getting used to, but it's generally a third-person shooter with some RPG elements. You have warframes, which are basically classes, if you will, where they have different abilities you can get, different mods you can get, and these you can equip on your warframe, and you have like slots And your Warframe levels up. You get more mod slots, and they get more health and shields. And there's different mods for different Warframes, and then general mods, which might increase rifle power or rifle ammo. Like, there's tons of different mods to collect throughout the missions. So there's a lot of customization there, and that's where a lot of the RPG elements come in. You have like loadouts, right? So you've got your primary weapon, your secondary weapon, and your melee weapon. And you can get blueprints with this currency that you collect through the missions, or you can just buy platinum and buy your weapons and stuff with real money if you want to do that. Like, I haven't spent any money on this game, and I never will, and you don't really need to. The game can be a bit grindy. I mean, the missions, there's a decent amount of mission variety. There's a lot of like defend this part of the map, or your air support's cut off, and you gotta like activate these air support things and get to an end of the mission. The maps can be pretty maze-like, and there's a good variety of environments though. Like, there's different planets you can go to, more than Destiny. I mean, the amount of detail is not as high as in, say, Destiny, but I thought this game was far less repetitive than Destiny was, and it's more of an RPG. It does, like I said though, it is pretty grindy. To get some of the new Warframes, for instance, there's 3 you can start with in the beginning, and you pick one of them. But to get others, you have to like fight boss battles over and over again until you get 3 pieces of a Warframe you want. And then you got to make them, and then you make them in this foundry that's on your ship, and it takes like 24 real hours for you to get your Warframe built. And you can speed that up by spending real money. Like, some of this stuff is kind of annoying, but and it just takes a while to, get new weapons and get new Warframes. But, I mean, the combat is pretty fun. It's very, like, Twitch heavy. There's lots of numbers flying on the screen. It's very chaotic. But there's a lot of cool powers that you can use. The Warframes each feel very different from one another, where I didn't really feel that all that much with Destiny, especially since Destiny only has 3 classes. And this, you have a bunch of Warframes to choose from. You get your own ship that you can walk around. You can't really customize it or anything, but you've got your like station where you can sort all your mods, and then the foundry where you can build stuff. It's like, overall, it's a pretty cool game. I was not expecting to like it as much as I do. It's definitely a lot more fun if you have people to play with and to talk to while you're going through these missions, because, like I said, it is very grindy, and you're probably not going to have much fun playing by yourself. But reminded me of Monster Hunter in a way as well. I don't know how much more I'll be playing it. I do play with a couple of my friends here and there, but I am starting to reach the point where I'm kind of bored with it, even though I've only got like 3 Warframes. Like, it takes a while for stuff to happen in this game, and it's got a learning curve too. I wasn't too big on it right away, but once you start learning the systems and the mechanics, it becomes pretty fun. I mean, it's not the best game ever, but for a free-to-play game, it's pretty damn good. I definitely suggest checking it out if you have a PS4 or Xbox One or, a PC. But yeah, Warframe, but definitely a surprisingly good game. And lastly, The Wolf Among Us. Now, this game was fucking amazing. I loved this game. I'd been waiting to play this for a long time, because it's... they've released it in parts, like with The Walking Dead, Telltale Games. But I was waiting till it was all out at once, because I prefer playing these games all at once. I don't know. I feel like I would kind of, like, if I was playing them episode by episode, I would like get to like episode 1 or episode 2 or 3, and I would just forget about it and just find it hard to come back to, and like forget things that happened. So episode 5 came out. I don't know when. I think episode 5, like the new Walking Dead, is out right now, and I'm probably gonna play that at some point. But I was more interested in this because the Fable comics, I had never heard. Like, hadn't heard about these, and I actually really want to check them out now after playing through this. I can't say too much about the story. I mean, this is a very story-driven game. But basically, you play Bigby Wolf, the big bad wolf, and this game is a very gritty, very dark game, because it's set in New York City, but you've got these characters that are from the Fables, but they're in New York City, and they've used they use these things called glamours to make them appear human, and they've kind of got to make sure that humans don't, find out about them. I don't really want to say much more other than it's a murder mystery. Of revolving around these fable characters, and they give you like this book of fables that you can read through whenever you meet a new character in the game. That gives you like a bit of history on the character, and some of these characters I had never heard of before, even though they're actual from fables. But like the storyline in this game, I thought was incredible. The characters were really well realized, and it felt very authentic. But at the same time, like this game can be pretty over the top at times. It's got like a film noir almost kind of style to it, but at the same time, there's some over the top stuff, which I thought would bug me because I'm usually not into that. But I thought it worked with this game. The dialogue is just incredibly rich. It's really great. There's a lot of it, and that's one of the key differences I think with this and The Walking Dead Season 1. Telltale Games, it's still the same developer, but they're very different from one another. This game, there's basically no puzzles. Most of it is conversation and investigation. Like the investigation parts, you're basically looking at different things in the environment and investigating them, and they don't last very long, these sections. Whereas most of the game, you're just talking to people and choosing dialogue options. That kind of affects how things play out pretty slightly throughout the game. I'm pretty sure, I've only gone through this once, I'm pretty sure the end result is always the same, but different characters will kind of react to you in different ways depending on how you treat them, and you've got the little like indicator in the top left saying, oh, this person will remember that if you choose certain dialogue options. But the game just comes across it always feels natural no matter what dialogue option you pick. A lot of the characters are very flawed in this, which I like. It's a very, it's not black and white with this game. It's very gray. It takes a very gray approach. And I was constantly questioning my decisions in this game. Like, there was a lot of times where nothing felt like the right answer. They all felt like bad answers. So a lot of, there was some tough decisions for me to make, and you have to make them fast in this game. And I really loved the ending, and even though I loved Walking Dead Season 1, I am a bit hesitant going to another season already. So I think it might be the same with The Wolf Among Us. I'd be okay if these kind of games only had one season, to be honest. I don't know. I'm very much looking forward to the Telltale Games Game of Thrones game. That's going to be awesome. But this, I fucking loved this game. I mean, I like it better than The Walking Dead Season 1. Probably more because it's my style. I much prefer murder mystery, film noir type stuff, and this was right up my alley. So if you haven't played this, definitely check it out. It's on everything now. Digital only. I don't know if they're planning a physical release. I hope so. But it's definitely one of my favorite games of the year. Although I think the first part came out in 2013. I'm still going to consider this a 2014 release. But yeah, this game, I thought it was flat out amazing. So yeah, that's it, just those 3 games. But I guess I'll take the time now to talk about some of the upcoming releases I'm looking forward to. Thea the Rhythm, Final Fantasy is the next one. Curtain Call. I didn't play the original on the 3DS, so I think now is the time to jump in. I'm a bit worried about spoilers for certain Final Fantasy games, but I think from what I've read, you can easily avoid that, and it's been a while since I've played a rhythm game, and I think this is just the game I need. I think it's going to be a nice change of pace from a lot of the RPGs I've been playing. Although it's got some RPG stuff there. I'm really looking forward to this game. Although I think it's going to be one of those games I kind of pick up and play. It's not a game I'll be addicted to. I don't think. A lot of people do get addicted to this game though, so I guess we'll have to see about that. We've got Hyrule Warriors at the end of September, which I've got pre-ordered. I originally wasn't going to get this game, but I've kind of changed my mind on it after looking up some gameplay, and it's been a while since I've played a Dynasty Warriors type game. I think the last time was on the PS2 or something. I remember hating it, but I think I'm going to give this game a chance. It's Zelda. I love Zelda, and that's the hook for me now, and it's got some RPG elements there, which I like, and it might be a nice game to pick up and play, like Thea the Rhythm. So hopefully I'll enjoy that. I know, who knows? Maybe I'll hate it. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it looks like it's going to be fun. Maybe not like a mind-blowing game or anything, but I'm still looking forward to it. And it should be a fun co-op game. It's got local co-op, so I'll be playing that with some of my friends. Hopefully that's an enjoyable game. But that's I'm going to be picking up that late September. Another game that comes out late September that I'm kind of more interested in now after seeing like gameplay, and that's Middle Earth: Shadows of Mordor. Now, I think I've mentioned this before, but I can't stand Lord of the Rings. I might lose some people there. I know a lot of people love Lord of the Rings, but it's never been my thing. So that kind of puts me off of this game. But the gameplay looks pretty fun. It's got a cool like nemesis system with the AI, where like certain enemies you'll find, like if they kill you, they'll like their rank will increase or whatever. They'll get promoted. But you might meet them later in the game, and they're a stronger enemy, and they look at you and like, hey, I thought I killed you, and they'll like have different like dialogue choices depending on what happens. Like there's some really unique AI going on in this game, and it looks pretty fun. Like the combat looks really good, Arkham Asylum-ish combat. But I'm hesitant because the story stuff, I just don't imagine enjoying it, and that's pretty big for me. It looks to be a very story-driven game, so I don't know. I'm gonna wait to see with the reviews and impressions on that game, but my gut feeling tells me I'm not going to enjoy that game all that much because of the Lord of the Rings license attached to it, unfortunately. But I'm definitely keeping an eye on that game. But in terms of October, we've got. I think the big one for me is Bayonetta 2. I'm really excited about that game. Bayonetta 1 was fucking awesome. This one looks just as insane. I wonder if it's going to be as exhausting as the first one was for me. Like, I thought the first one was very difficult. I could only do like a mission or two at a time because I felt like it was just too much. It was like sensory overload pretty much with that game. But it was still like an excellent game, really fun. The story I thought was complete shit, but and the second one's probably going to be the same way. But they're just really fun character action games, which I've said this before. That genre I used to love, and I kind of don't enjoy it as much as I used to, but maybe Bayonetta 2 can bring me back into things. Other October releases, Alien Isolation. I'm looking forward to. There's still part of me that thinks that game might not be that great. Everything I've seen on it looks great. I love the first Alien movie. I actually prefer it over Aliens. And it looks like it captures that atmosphere pretty well. It looks like it might actually be a genuinely scary game, not relying on jump scares with your radar there and the alien roaming around. You never know where it could be. Yeah, hopefully that turns out good. I'm not going to get it right away. I'm going to, again, like with Shadows of Mordor, wait for impressions and reviews, but I think that's a safe bet. I think that game will probably turn out pretty good. Evil Within is another game in October that I'm looking forward to. It looks very much like an RE4 type game. Shinji Mikami is obviously involved with this one. Very gory. I'm probably not going to buy this, though. I'm still a bit hesitant on this because the impressions from like PAX and things like that haven't been too great. My brother is getting it day one on Xbox One, so I think I might just borrow that from him and then play it that way, and then and see what I think of it, because it's a game I don't know if I want to rush out and spend like $70 on that. It looks fun. I don't know if it looks like full price day one fun to me though. And I've said before too, I'm not a huge horror game guy. And then another October game is Lords of the Fallen. I don't know how many of you have been looking at this one. It's a very Souls-ish type game. It looks like it's very inspired by Dark Souls. It's got really weighty combat. The art style is a lot more bland compared to the Souls games, but from what I've seen, based on gameplay, like it looks like a competent Souls clone. So if that actually turns out to be, anything remotely decent, I might actually pick that up because I'm always in the mood for a game with a Souls-like game. But it looks, as far as action RPGs goes, it looks pretty solid. The boss fights look really great. It looks very challenging. Hopefully there's a lot of RPG elements there. Hopefully there's a lot of depth to that game. Again, it's another game I'll have to wait for impressions and reviews, but I'm definitely still looking forward to it. And then I guess I'll cover November. I mean, honestly, November there's not much. I think Persona Q is like the big title for November for me. I'm really looking forward to that game. Honestly, probably the game I'm looking forward to the most for the rest of the year. As a huge Persona fan, that's like a must-have. I guess we've got Evolve that comes out in November, or is that next year? Actually, no, I think that's next year. In any case, I'm not really looking forward to Evolve. Any multiplayer focused game is probably not going to be my thing. I guess the rumors are the new Smash Brothers on Wii U is going to be coming out in November. Of course, we've got the 3DS one in October. I'm going to be skipping on the 3DS one. I don't know. To me, like Smash Brothers, I've always liked Smash Brothers. I'm just not as obsessed with it as a lot of people are. I get kind of bored with it pretty quickly, even when playing with friends. And 3DS, I just don't imagine enjoying it on a handheld. I can see it controlling pretty poor. I mean, I guess I'd got to try the demo to see if I'd really feel that way. But I think to me, Smash Brothers has always been like a console game. You gather some friends around the TV and play it that way. So I'll be picking up the Wii U version for sure. And the rumored date is like November. So I'll have to wait and see if that releases then. But I'll definitely be picking that up day one. I'm not as excited about that game as a lot of people are. I'm sure I'll have fun with it, but it's probably going to be like Brawl, where I play it for like a couple weeks and then I'm kind of done with it. But I'm still looking forward to it. But I think that's all the games in the next 3 months. I don't want to go past that, but yeah, what have you guys been looking forward to in terms of new releases? What have you guys been playing? And I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.